My 26 female fiance, 26 male, sat me down yesterday and talked about how he feels like I don't contribute enough to the household, particularly financially. I was a bit caught off guard by this, but I was willing to hear him out since he wasn't wrong. He makes a lot more than I do, and we've always split bills accordingly, which ends up being about 80% on him. I asked what he wanted me to pay now, and he was adamant about it being 50-50. I asked if everything was okay with his job or if he needed to take fewer hours, and he wouldn't answer me. I honestly wouldn't have gotten upset if there seemed like an actual reason behind it, but he just said he's been thinking about it a lot, over and over. Every time I asked what brought him to this conclusion, what was going on. Eventually he just said, "This is how it's going to be, take it or leave it." Those exact words, in response to literally everything I said. Full shutdown, no explanations. I told him that was fine, I'll take it, and then asked him if he'd made a Zillow account or expected me to. He looked confused and asked why we would need a Zillow account. I explained that there was no way I could afford half rent on our current place, so we'll probably have to move into a one-bedroom apartment. He got mad and asked why I didn't have savings. I told him that I do, but I'm not paying rent out of my savings because that's a terrible and unsustainable idea. I also began to go over our new food budget, our new entertainment budget, and that we probably have to sell the cars and get one less expensive one because I can't afford half of the payments on an Audi and a Land Rover. Then I explained that date nights would have to be reduced too, and we could still do like Buffalo Wild Wings, but I preferred Thursday nights because you get 2 orders of boneless wings for one. Basically, if he wants me to pay half, we're living within my means, not his anymore. He agreed to it, but since then he's been incredibly angry. He's not saying or doing anything, but he's walking around the house in this cloud of anger. I sent him 6 Zillow listings, all of which he's called uninhabitable for various reasons, some of which I think were valid, others I disagree with. He's now saying that I'm being unfair and manipulative and that he tried to come to me with a serious concern about our relationship. I'm making it impossible for him to talk to me and bulldoze over him. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, I really loved your style. He thought he had a gold digger and you flipped the script pretty well. This was awesome. Next question though, you seem like such an intelligent and decent person. Why are you with such an ignorant and self-centered idiot? I'm wondering whether he's throwing this up so that OP breaks up with him. Then he can call her a gold digger, or he may have gotten himself a side piece he now needs to fund. Girl, he's calling you manipulative for trying to comply with his wishes without depleting your entire savings and running yourself into debt. You need to think long and hard about someone like this. It looks like malicious compliance without the intention of being malicious. That's just an extra perk. And what she's doing and suggesting is completely logical. You don't live in the means of the highest earner. Everyone else will be drowning trying to keep up. Good for her, and on the plus side, he's kind of showing her who he is. I hope she gets to the bottom of why such a sudden change. Wait it out a bit. Maybe ask around your mutual friends if they know something, but be prepared to be kicked to the curb potentially. To me, it sounds like something happened with his job, and he's not able to tell you yet for whatever reasons. I would try to have another calm chat about it with him, also showing him how much you'd be able to afford long term. Don't move forward with your plans of getting married until you both agree on your finances. I don't like how he issued an ultimatum without an explanation. I, 45 male, have a daughter Lily, young teen. My wife Marie, 43, and I have been separated for over 5 years now and have split custody of Lily. However, she prefers to stay with me. I'm not sure if it's cultural, but my wife and her family have always insisted that Lily let her hair grow, as they believe the longer your hair is, the more feminine you are, and they always took pride in how long their own hair is. Lily followed as she didn't want to cause a scene. Lily's hair was going past her thighs. Lily was staying with me last weekend, and when I was about to go to bed, I saw her crying while brushing her hair. I asked what was wrong, and it felt like Lily was having a breakdown. She started to cry harder and told me how much she hates her hair, that it takes her hours each day to brush through it due to how thick it is and how hot and tired it makes her feel. I'm not even mentioning styling it. She also told me how she wanted to dye it, but Marie wouldn't let her do this as it would ruin her hair and is bad taste. I hugged her and told her not to worry and that I'll think of something. I called my sister and explained the situation to her. She organised an appointment with her hairstylist the next day to look at Lily's hair and do something with it. So the next day I took Lily to the hair salon where she cut her hair. She chose a long bob. So her hair is now just about reaching her shoulders with the rest of her hair donated. She also had some highlights done, which made Lily super happy. When Lily got home, Marie called me immediately and said I'm an idiot and what have I done to our daughter. She and her whole family started berating me for it and making horrible comments about Lily, so she returned to me and stayed with me. Marie took it to social media, saying I'm a horrible father that has stripped my daughter out of her womanhood and femininity. Even my parents called me about it and said I shouldn't have taken Lily to the hairdresser without discussing it first with Marie. Not the idiot. Have stripped my daughter out of her womanhood and femininity? Wow, they're more concerned about what others think than what's going on with your daughter. What's Lily supposed to do with this enforced symbol of womanhood she's carrying as a young teen? The horrible thoughts that brings up. It sounds like an outdated burden and repressive. Lily must feel so light and happy with her new haircut. I was 16 before my parents let me cut my hair to my waist. It wasn't even a religious thing or anything. My mom was just a tyrant. Kids made fun of me relentlessly. I got gum stuck in my hair, to which my mom would just pull out the peanut butter. My hair would even get into the toilet sometimes. It was disgusting. I don't find a problem with parents setting some limits on hair, like no dyeing. After all, some of those chemicals are carcinogens. Or no mohawks. Yet when a parent has a child totally under their thumb and won't let them express individuality, that's a huge red flag to me. Your daughter is old enough to decide her own body and personal image. She doesn't even have womanhood yet, she has girlhood. And that and her femininity are not dependent on the length of her hair. Her mom was being controlling and frankly abusive, forcing her to maintain that hair if she wasn't comfortable. Also, try to get full custody of your daughter, please. As an adult who was in a similar situation, I wish my dad had been relentless in trying to extricate me from my mother's grasp. I'm a nearly adult female and my sister is 21. We've hated each other, and I mean legit hate. I don't recall ever thinking a positive thing about her. She's home for the summer and is a general pain in my butt. My parents were out of town this week and she had a party for all her friends. I'm not being mean, but it's the fact that my sister and her friends are very large. I guess my sister is more thick, but the others are big. They got into the hot tub, and while it was too many people no matter what because they were so big, a huge amount of water overflowed over the side. The hot tub was right outside my window, so I could see and hear that the pump wasn't getting enough water after they got out. I yelled out my window that she needed to put the hose in it since it wouldn't run dry. She told me to mind my own business. I went out to do it myself, but the pump was making a weird noise by the time I got there, and then the breaker popped. The next day she did fill it up, but she didn't know why it wouldn't start, and I didn't care enough to tell her about the circuit breaker. When my dad got home, he wanted to sit in the tub because he has a really painful back condition, and basically running the pump without water ruined it, and my dad was furious. My sister lied to him and said that it was just like that, and even she and her friends didn't get to use it. I told him that actually no, she and her fat friends overflowed it, and then she ran the pump dry, and she told me to mind my business when I told her how to fix it. My mom is so freaked out about my sister's self-esteem that she's mad at me for calling my sister fat. My dad is furious with my sister because he needs the hot tub to relax his back, or he doesn't sleep. My dad is mad at my mom for coddling my sister, and the house is even more tense than usual. My sister says I caused the problems because I'm a snitch and a fat shamer. There's so much more, but I'm running out of room. Am I the idiot? My mom is so freaked out about my sister's self-esteem. This is the actual problem where people will deny reality to live in denial. Your sister sucks and even chose to lie about something you tried to help her prevent while being obnoxious toward you. Not the idiot. There's a lot of resentment between these two sisters for many reasons. I can imagine the mother has given OP's sister a lot of passes out of concern for her self-esteem. The issue isn't that she's fat, she was dismissive and ignored the damage being caused to the pump and then lied about it. Your father has a medical reason to use the hot tub, which is more important than your sister's self-esteem or feelings. Mom's coddling is dumb when she literally broke it. I mean, I agree completely the sister caused the problem, broke the hot tub and lied about it, but that being said, the fat comment was unnecessary. OP would have probably escaped backlash from her mom had she omitted that. At the same time, their size contributed to how the hot tub broke, but mentioning it wasn't necessary. The fat comment was just added in because OP hates her sister. There was a way to explain how the weight contributed to the problem, but that's not what OP did at the moment when speaking with her parents. I'm not giving her a pass on the fat shaming just because she's right. There was a slightly better way to handle it. Everyone's the idiot here. So my male 25 girlfriend 24 Katie and I have been next door neighbours for about 1.5 years now. but we've only started dating for the last 4 or 5 months. A couple of days ago, our landlady, 59, visited me. That day, Katie had a day off and saw our landlady leaving my apartment. She joined in the conversation and asked what was wrong with my apartment. I guess she assumed I must have called the landlady because something broke. Well, my mom responded with, "Does she need a reason to visit her son?" Katie looked a bit shocked and left us alone. But that evening she was more distant than usual, and when I asked what was wrong, she told me to explain why I'd been lying to her for so long. I was confused. Then she explained to me that she was angry to find out my mother was also the building's landlady, and she wanted to know if I pay rent, what my mom's last name is. I told her I pay rent like everyone else, in fact more. I told her my only advantage was not having to pay a premium. I told her that my mom returned to her maiden name after the divorce. I also told her that she never asked directly where my mom works, and I saw no reason to tell her. She's still distant. I'm unsure if it was such a big deal to hide this. You are the idiot. She has the right to know if she's dating her landlady's son. She may not have wanted to get involved with you had she known that. If the relationship ends badly, she may fear your mom would make her living situation uncomfortable, or she just may be uncomfortable with it, period. She should have been told because it does affect her. I find it odd that he calls her landlady from the get-go. It's odd that you never mentioned it, and your mom's reply was actually kind of rude. How was she supposed to know that your mom was visiting and not that something was wrong with your apartment? Girlfriend knew your mom as the landlady. She drew a logical conclusion based on the information she had. Right. I had to read it 5 times to understand it. At first, I thought OP lived with his mom and that the landlady was his second mom. The way he switched from calling her the landlady with no context to saying, "My mom said," was just nonsensical. I think OP is the idiot for that alone. And if he twists things the same way with his girlfriend to try to conceal basic facts, which I suspect based on the story, then he didn't just tell her, he purposely tried to hide it, which makes him the idiot for that too. Yeah, imagine the things Mom knows from inspections and repairs. She would have seen her girlfriend's personal items, visitors, what she's like when she thinks she's just chilling at home, all of which can be awkward or embarrassing. It's not just the neighbour, it's the neighbour that's been in her home repeatedly and runs the place. I feel uncomfortable too. Now I know that when I start dating someone, I first ask whether their parents own the place I'm renting. Come on. My friend's wedding is tonight and I'm a guest, not in the wedding party. I ended up feeling ill last week and my symptoms are at their worst right now. I gave my friend the heads up that I was sick when my symptoms started, and on Friday when my symptoms got worse, I messaged my friend that I might not be able to attend. For context, I believe my symptoms differ from most people's when I get sick. Everyone tells me they recover in 2 to 3 days, but I get sick for 2 or 3 months. I feel I can't breathe whenever I get sick and start wheezing. My chest always hurts when I cough, and I frequently get coughing attacks that I can't stop, leaving me red in the face. I've always been called immature for deciding to stay at home and cancelling plans when sick or physically injured. At this point, I know the phases and I will not get better soon. When I told my friend 2 days ago that I wouldn't be able to attend because I was sick, she was pretty upset. She suddenly FaceTimed me and then hung up after I answered. She messaged me, "It looks like a little cold. Suck it up, get over it and come to my wedding, LOL. We argued back and forth where I said that I think it's better if I rested in bed, but she thought it was impolite of me to miss her big day, especially when her wedding cost $200 per person, so thousands of dollars. In the end, she said it's up to me whether I decide to be a good friend or not, and if I don't go, I can just PayPal her wedding gift to her. I feel bad for missing her wedding and upsetting her before her big day, but I would also feel miserable if I attended and would need to bring a tissue box because, too much information, I would be coughing up a lot of mucus. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your friend should have thanked you for staying at home and not getting people sick. She should also have said she hoped you would feel better. That's what a friend would do, not, "Get over it, bring your germs to the wedding. No one cares. It's not like people won't be close to each other or anything." And of course, if she'd gotten sick, you'd be blamed. The bride would rather kill grandma than miss out on that toaster oven to recoup her wedding costs. OP, if you're too sick to go, then you shouldn't. If I were a fellow guest and you were next to me coughing your lungs out, I would be upset. Has the world not learned this lesson yet? However, being sick for 2 or 3 months isn't normal, and I highly recommend seeing a doctor. I second that. Seriously, I've been sick for 6 weeks. X-rays revealed long-term lung damage, probably due to whooping cough some years back. Good on you for not going. Your friend is just another entitled bride who thinks the world revolves around her. What if your hugs and kisses ruined her honeymoon? She only cares about money, and I'm disgusted that she asked you to send her money even if you don't attend. So please, don't give her any money and don't let her guilt trip you, and find better friends to have around you. Update: after reading some comments, it may not be a cold. I thought it was because it happens during cold and flu season, and I basically get all the symptoms, but a worse version. It could be some pneumonia I'm getting every year. It's been like this since I was a kid, and I honestly thought everyone's cold was like this until a few years ago because everyone told me I was an immature baby. In the past, I've gone to walk-in clinics where I couldn't see my family doctor and they prescribed more or less the same things and called it a cold. So that's also why I didn't question it. The wedding is going on right now, and some friends texted me asking where I am. I explained the situation to them, but they think I should have gone anyways, LMAO. I booked an appointment with my doctor to figure this out. Thank you all.